Hey, welcome back everybody. Thank you so much for dropping by. Part 3 of the sleep series, how to master it, how to manage it. But before going forward into the subject, there's a few questions that I would like to address that I got from most of you. They all seem to be concentrated on the different stages. And the main question was the cycle always the same length? Interesting question. But before we continue, guys, you know the drill. Subscribe. It helps this channel move forward. If you like what you saw, please let me know. Hit the thumbs up and make sure you hit that bell to get all notification to know when I paste the next video or I upload the next video is probably the best thing to say. So without any ado, let's take a look at this question. Or is the cycle all the same length? No, actually the average cycle is about 90 minutes. But it does range from 70 to 120 minutes. It depends on the individual. Again, this is all about the 4 stages. Remember, you call them stages, phases, whatever you want to call them. Stage 1 was, before falling asleep, may vary from 1 to 5 minutes. Most of us, sometimes it's 15 minutes, sometimes half an hour. The second phase or second stage, 10 to 60 minutes. Third one, which is the most important one, which we talked about in part 2 of the video, is the deep stage or deep phase. This is when you start cleaning up, repair your body, clean up your brain. These cells are the most efficient at that time of that stage. And there's also stage 4, which is the REM sleep, rapid eye movement, which is, all part of it, because as soon as it gets to that stage, it reverts back to stage 2 and the cycle starts all over again. So no, not all cycles are the same length. Average is 90 minutes. Standard varies from 70 to 120 minutes depending on the individual, right? So I hope that answers it. And we could start moving forward with some of the questions that I did get. And yeah, I will cover and hopefully answer them the best I can. One of the questions that came back was, I don't sleep good during the week or I don't have time. Because Tuesday night I'm going out to see a movie. Wednesday we have people over. Friday night we go out to a bar and friends, restaurant with co-workers. Not the case now with all this COVID, but in the past. And on the weekend, you know what? I'll just sleep 10 hours, 12 hours and, recuperate some of the sleep that I miss. Is that possible? Do that? Does our body able to do that? Short answer is no. We can't recuperate some of the chronic damage and repairs that we did not do during the week. Our body loves routine. I keep repeating that. Our body needs a routine as much as possible that you could give it. If you can't during the week, you can't go and accumulate sleep during the weekend to, recuperate everything that you missed during the week. So hopefully that answers that question. The other question that came along was, is sleeping before midnight the best recuperative sleep that you could get? Yes and no. Depends on each person, biological clock, and the core temperature. Core temperature, I'm saying that because if you keep the same routine every night, after a while you're going to start seeing that you get that small chill at night just before bedtime. And that's your body telling you, hey, it's time to go to sleep. Go brush your teeth and go to sleep. This is when your core temperature starts, in a way telling your mind, your body, everything, it's that time, I'm ready. Try to listen to your body as much as possible, If we do miss that window, we may miss the first deep sleep or that 2 hours of sleep, which is almost the best of recuperative sleep that we could get during that night. It's always the beginning. So hopefully that answers that question. The other one is circadian cycle. We hear it a lot, but do we really understand how it works? All the steps of going forward Bear with me, but I think this is so important because in video 5 or part 5 of my video that I'll upload about the product, this is going to be so important also to understand this part. And it's basically so important to understand for how your brain works and how it goes through your eyes and the whole process. So let me start. See, the lights in our eyes, when it's daytime, let's say it's daytime, when we wake up and we see light outside, what happens is the light goes through our eyes, hits the back of our eyes, which we all know as the retina. And the retina has what you call, I'm going to try to say this properly, melanopsin ganglion cells. Okay, let's just call them ganglion cells. Here, let me just put a picture of the eye. There you go. So basically, light goes in, hits the back where the retina is, where there's those ganglion cells. And those ganglion cells will transfer the perceived light back to your brain for analysis. Where does it send it in your brain? Well, they go directly to your hypothalamus. You know that thing that's in back of your brain? And I thought this was like a big thing in back of your brain. Here, let me just put a picture here. You could see the hypothalamus over here. Well, it's the size of a peanut. But it does contain those groups of nerve cells which you see down there. And these cells are control centers that affect your sleep and your awakening or arousal, call it what you want. Those thousands of clusters of cells that you see there, they receive the light information from your eyes, from the ganglion cells. And once they finish analyzing it and saying, hey, it's light, or hey, it's dark, they send that information to your SCN. Yeah, I have to say it. Super chiasmatic nucleus. They send it to a nucleus in your brain. We'll just call it the SCN to simplify it, okay? Now bear with me. This is going to be really easy at the end, okay? What does the SCN do? Well, the SCN sends the information to a little gland that you have right in the middle of your two brain hemisphere. It's called the pineal gland. We already heard that a million times before, but yeah, there you know. You know exactly where it is. And what does that pineal gland do? It generates hormone for us to fall asleep. And it's what you see on every little pill out there to help you sleep. What hormone does it generate? It's called the melatonin. Remember those extra pills that you see Amazon or in the drugstore on the shelf? Yeah. But for the pineal gland to be able to generate its melatonin, it first has to receive the signal from the SCN first to tell it, hey, it's daytime, stop generating melatonin. Or, I can't see anything, it's dark, start generating melatonin. Okay? But that chemical substance secreted by your pineal gland, basically it's eliminated during the night. It keeps on generating melatonin, but it's slowly eliminated in your sleep. And as soon as daytime comes along, well, you know, obviously the whole procedure starts over again, and it tells your pineal gland to stop generating it. So let's just do a quick review, okay? Just make sure you understand here. Here's a picture. Okay, light through your eyes, hits the retina, hits those ganglion cells, gets transferred to your hypothalamus, all the way to your nerve cells, analyzing light or no light, gets transferred to your SCN nucleus, for it to send the signal to your pineal gland to say, start secreting melatonin or stop secreting melatonin. Now you know the process of what it is and how your brain works and how the procedure works. May not know why or how does it get this information or how does it get to create melatonin and what it needs. We'll cover that in part 5. Okay. The other question was, will the synthetic melatonin help put me to sleep? Well, yeah. I'd say it's a perfect drug, and I call it, yeah, a drug. It's great for jet lag. Like, let's say you're traveling North America to Europe, and you get that jet lag. Well, if you take melatonin, it's sure going to help you fall asleep. Okay? Is it going to help if you're working shift? Like, let's say you're working 1 week at night every 2 months. Maybe help you and put you back to sleep, or help regulate your circadian cycle. Yeah, that's mainly what it's used for, but should be used with caution and not long term. Some studies show, okay, that melatonin, if you have a healthy brain and you do have your own melatonin, it's not going to do much at the beginning, you know? Apart from what you're taking something, giving more, your brain at the time is probably going to say, hey, you know, why do I have to produce some? I'm always getting some. So on a healthy brain, you have to find other alternatives. Why are you not sleeping? So that and these points I've covered in the first part, second part, and I will cover in the next part that I go. So I'll do a full conclusion at the end in part 4. Synthetic melatonin should not be used on long term. It's like everything else. Will synthetic melatonin help me sleep? Yeah, it will. It's a great drug for jet lag, or if you're working night shift, like let's say 1 week every 2 months, and you're not using it too often or regularly. It's a great drug to put you to sleep, but it's to be used with caution. And it's not a pill that should be used to treat insomnia. Okay, very important. It's going to be used to regulate your circadian cycle if you need it at that time. But again, they use with caution. If you have a healthy brain and you're using it, you may not need it, may not have any effect short term, but long term, let me get into that. Will melatonin have an effect on me in long term, or a negative effect? Well, you know what? The issue I had with that is people are taking 9 to 10 times the amount of melatonin that they need. Okay? What's that going to do with, long term? It's going to stop your body from producing melatonin. The brain is just saying, hey, why do I have to produce it? I'm getting plenty of it. Take a look. Your body produces 0.3 milligrams every 24 hours. That's what it needs during a night, or what it's producing during a night. And most of the bottles out there range from 1 milligram to about 3 milligrams. And I have some people on my Facebook who told me they are on 10 milligrams, which is the maximum that you should take, according to physicians and doctors. Why did they reach up to that? Because they probably started at 1 milligram, then after a while it didn't work, they pumped up to 2, they pumped up to 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. But did you know using 10 milligrams is 33 times the amount of melatonin that your body requires? If you take 10 milligrams divided by 0.3, yeah, gives you about, give or take, 33 times the amount. So imagine stopping and saying, I don't want to use it anymore. What do you think is going to happen? Your brain has to readjust and get back to normal, and it may take a while. Can you overdose on melatonin? Well, it will disrupt your circadian cycle, may cause daytime drowsiness. Why? May not be fully eliminated from your body. 10 milligrams, the half-life of a 10 milligrams is 5 hours and more. Then you have another half-life, and then you have another half-life, another half-life. By the time you wake up, you're still going to have some melatonin in your body. And you may have that drowsiness, and it may not be totally out of your body yet. So that's why I said use with caution. Get more information from your doctor if you want to go that way. Short-term tests and trials show that it may affect testosterone in men at short term, and in long term may even affect women in their ovule cycle. This is not something that you want. So, like I said, it could take a few weeks up to months to get back to normal after starting to cut down on melatonin. So, use it wisely. But if you still decide to go that way, another question was, what do you think of simple synthetic melatonin versus extended release melatonin? Well, to tell you the truth, if I had to make a choice, I would probably go for the extended release melatonin because it mimics what your brain does. It's just like it releases gradually the melatonin in your brain towards your body and everything like that to what it needs to do slowly. What your brain actually does, or the pineal gland does. As you take it, you take one pill, simple synthetic melatonin, and it gets absorbed right away in one burst in your brain, and then dissolves right away. And halfway through the night, maybe 4 o'clock, you don't have any more, and you wake up. So yeah, make sure you go see a pharmacist or ask your doctor, because there's so many out there. If I just take a sheet here and I take a look, there's extended release melatonin, slow release, continuous release melatonin, time release, prolonged release, control release. And basically they all mean the same, but just like go to your pharmacy, tell them I'm at this level right now. I want to go for extended release melatonin. Can you suggest the best one for me? If you still want to go this way, I may have another solution for you. After this, in part 5, which I'm testing right now, which I explained, this new product, which is completely natural. It's not synthetic. So that's to come, and I will let you know on that. Next one would be prebiotics. Do they really help? Jean, what's a prebiotic? Are you talking probiotics? No, I'm talking prebiotics. We all know what probiotics are. They say they include in yogurt. You go and get these supplements at the drugstore, and they got like 1 billion of 5 or 8 different type of chains in there, to feed your gut, to increase or help your immune system, and the whole rest, which is great. But there are what you call prebiotics, fibers and all that kind of stuff, and other. You just could probably Google it, if you want to know. Just prebiotics, what best foods are good for prebiotics. Usually the yellow, red lentil, chickpeas, hummus, and there's a lot more, which I won't get into detail. You just could Google it and you'll find all the food and answers there of where you could get it in your food. But how do these do? The conclusion out of that is these prebiotics feed your probiotics, bacteria in your gut. So it's good. And in return, what they do is create short chain fatty acids. I'm going to try to say these. There's 2 chains that they do. These fatty acids are called butyrate and probionic. And what do these 2, short chain fatty acid do? They have a calming effect on your brain. They don't put you to sleep, but they have a calming effect on your brain. So the whole study came out with there's a 10% support in improvement of your sleep. Hey, any percentage that you could grab, like 10% and more, it's worth trying or eating properly to be able to obtain this, which is, I give it a thumbs up. Why not? The other question is, and beliefs is, is a tea just before going to sleep good or not? Well, any liquids 1 or 2 hours before may stop you in the middle of the night for a bio break, which is not what we want, but still, there's no magic tea out there. But let's cover some of these beliefs, okay? And let me start with warm milk, because I find this one so interesting. It was a grandma thing. Here, take a glass of warm milk. It's good for your soul. It's going to put you to sleep. The idea wasn't that bad. You know why? Because warm milk has what you call an amino acid called tryptophan. Let me put on my protein video amino acid that I made for you guys. Here it is. As you could see on your left, you have the essential amino acids. What are amino acids again? Look at my protein video, but a quick explanation. When you eat meat, you eat vegetables, you have protein in them. And that protein is broken up into your body, okay, and creates these different little proteins, which are called amino acids or peptides. Okay, now if you check number 8, tryptophan, okay, is one of them. Now warm milk has tryptophan inside. which once inside your body, it was meant to believe that it could help reach your brain and help you sleep. The idea was good, but it's not correct. If you don't have the proper food combination to help the tryptophan reach your brain, it's not going to reach it. It's going to bounce back on the blood-brain barrier that we all have that stops heavy metal or heavy particles from reaching your brain from the blood. Unfortunately, that's what it is. Maybe less than 1% may reach your brain, but it's not enough. So, does it help? No. And stand by, because you know what? I will explain how tryptophan in food is able to reach your brain and how it's being done. Okay, but not in this video, in the upcoming videos. So you just say, yeah, it doesn't work, but how does it work? Yeah, well, I'm going to explain that, but not in this video. Alcohol. Yeah, who didn't use alcohol to fall asleep? Because yeah, it just relaxes you. For me, I get one glass and the second one, I'm falling asleep. That's how I am. I had friends that would drink and drink, and I'd have a glass or two and they all laugh at me because I'd probably be sleeping at the tip of the table. That's how I am. Alcohol just puts me asleep. But it's a short term, and it gives you a light sleep, affecting your corporal temperature, your core temperature. It provokes your core temperature to heat up. And that's not what we want. If you remember in video 2, if your core temperature heats up and you can't have it cool down, it will affect your deep sleep. And we want deep sleep. Remember, deep sleep is the most important stage or phase. So what happens in the middle of the night? We have to go for a bio break, a bathroom time. So no alcohol is not something. How about herbal tea? Will herbal tea help? There's no magical tea out there that will put you to sleep. All you have is teas out there that will help you relax, which is good. Okay, just make sure there's no caffeine inside, but there's no magical tea that will help you put you to sleep, or has that proper ingredient just to help you go to sleep and work on your pineal gland or what. Okay. And the next part is very important. Pills. No, I'm not a doctor, but I have to talk about pills. Right now, my mother is diagnosed as a chronic insomnia. Definitely, she's been taking pills for years. And the thing is about pills and being taking them for years is, if you listen or you read about this, is once people try to get off the pills, it's just a no go. The withdrawal's too hard. It's like at the beginning you start, you take the pill. Oh, I'll take another pill tonight just in case I don't sleep properly. And you take it and you take it and you take it, and years after, you say, you know what, this is bad. I want to get off the pills. But trust me, I've seen some people on pills. And even there was a program on 2 women in the morning, 2 filles du matin, which one person took pills for years and tried to get off, and he's still trying after 3 years. So I'm not saying it may be 3 years for you. It all depends on our body, how much of a drawback that we get from that. But it may take a while. But the thing is, what I'm saying about this is, take a look and find out from the pharmacy. Have them print out what the medication of pills, to help you fall asleep, do to your body and mind. Or brain, probably better said. For my mother's pill that she used to take, it affects her memory long term. So I'm trying to get her off as much as possible in that and finding alternatives. This is why I got into that, and helps myself too, because I never took any pills. But I'm having her test the same product, which I'll come back in part 5 video and let you all know how it went. But it looks promising so far. And it's like find out what your medication does. Does it do the same thing my mother does? Is it a long-term memory loss, or does it do something else? Find out what it is, and see if you can find alternatives. But I'm not stopping you. I'm not telling you to stop your medication. Please follow what your doctor says. I'm not a doctor, but I know enough about biochemistry to be able to tell you what what is written out there, what I read in university studies and trials, to be able to give it back to you. Okay? So guys, if you like what you saw, please share. Next part, I'll have a conclusion for you. And the next part, part 5, I'll have the conclusion of the products that we are testing, this natural product, which is a combination of food. Okay? So have a good day, everybody.